You are watching Midnight Movie Talk live from Los Angeles as we get rolling tonight. It is our John Wick 4 special. Tonight, we are only discussing in minor detail John Wick 4. Because before we get started on anything here tonight, I want to make sure this is clear. Does everybody read what's at the bottom of the screen? Read it along with me. This is not a review. This is merely a social media reaction to the social media. That works, right? Let's do it. Because tonight, I think I did a really good job. The last several nights, I told you that I had seen John Wick 4. And I had been holding my thoughts. And I didn't let any of you know whether I loved or hated the film. I told you it was one or the other. This was not any shades of gray whatsoever. This is all in or all out. And a lot of you thought I was going to be all out. I was going to hate this film. I got some news for you here tonight. You're wrong. This is one of the greatest action movies ever made. John Wick 4 kicks total and complete ass. And this is coming from somebody who's not the biggest fan of this franchise. I go back to 2014. Remember, actually the first one going, I could live with or without this going forward. And then we got 2 and we got 3. And now we have 4. Without question, there is no debate. There will be no debate on this. This is the best John Wick film of the franchise. It is not a contest whatsoever. This is the reaction tweet I sent out earlier today, and it's going wild because it is nothing but praise. That's what this film deserves. Nothing but absolute excitement for what you're going to see here in about 2.5 weeks when it hits multiplexes. It's one of the greatest action movies ever made. It tops all 3 of the predecessors in storytelling, in scope, and stakes. That is very important in any film. Stakes. This has that. Countless astonishing set pieces. Okay, we're not talking 1, we're not talking 2, not 3, not 4. It is an endless stream of jaw-dropping set pieces. I mean, it's really hard to fathom that it's all contained here in one film. It really is. You're watching it going, I can't even comprehend that they were able to put all of this into one film. Bill Skarsgård is, if not the MVP, I mean, there's a lot of people who kick ass in this film, but Skarsgård, as I just tweeted just moments ago, is one of the best Bond villains ever in a John Wick film. This is a hellaciously thrilling franchise finish. Question mark. We don't know if it is. I'm not going to say another word because, again, this is not a review. That's the short and long of everything you need to know about John Wick 4. This film will deliver everything that you are hoping to get out of it. And that is why I have a 9.5 out of 10 on this. I do not give 10s. You know how many 10s I've given out in my life? So few. Social Network would be 1, right? Parasite would be a 10. It's 2. Drive, 10. This is so close. And here's the first thing I want to address. And again, this is not a review. The runtime here is 245-ish, okay? Which initially sounds overlong. It sounds like it's going to be a major issue. Always is for me. Whenever I come out of a film, 99.8% of the time these days, it is always an issue with length, where you feel it, where there was stuff that could be cut, where you just wanted the film to wrap, like in Everything Everywhere. But in this case, it's paced perfectly, okay? And the film is unfolded at I can't even describe how the pacing is dead on. I wouldn't change a thing about it. In fact, there's very few notes at all I have for a film in this regard that I'm calling one of the greatest action movies ever made. And when I'm saying that, for me, if you ask me what are the best action movies ever, you know where I'm going to lean. And it's not what you traditionally would think of. A lot of people are going to throw out something that's obvious. The two for me are simple. It is The Raid, it is The Raid 2. Those are the two best action films that I've ever seen in a cinema in my life. This film touches on that. John Wick 3 felt like The Raid 2, didn't it? This feels not like The Raid. It feels like its own original John Wick situation, but the scope is expanded very much like The Raid 2, which if you've never seen The Raid or The Raid 2, you need to make that priority viewing like now, okay? But in 2.5 weeks, you're going to be blown away by John Wick 4, which kicks total and complete ass. There is no way that anybody is going to walk out of this film and say they were disappointed. This will be 100% Rotten Tomatoes when the reviews drop next week. There is an embargo on reviews. That is why this is not a review. This is just a general social media reaction on YouTube. Not a review. Comment time. Let's go. Anything you want to do, we're not doing spoilers. We never do in these situations. It's always just about general thoughts of the film. Is it a winner? Is it a loser? Is it good or great? This is great. One of the best action films ever made. I mean, there's not a question about it. See, I fooled you guys. You thought that I was going to hate this film. I did not. I loved it. It was the opposite. That's the beauty. And someone actually replied today on Twitter and said, you are officially the most, we can never figure out what you are going to say about a film. That's why objectivity is everything. Because when you come at a film with a level playing field, just going into it with absolutely no expectations. In fact, if anything, my expectations of this film was, do we need a John Wick 4? Why are we here? And then you watch it and you say, okay, yeah, I get it. This is the perfect wrap, ? To the franchise. Okay, it's that great. And those of you who didn't see my reaction today, you didn't know. And then someone came in and said, yeah, he loved it. He gave it a 9.5, called it one of the greatest action movies of all time. There's no question. And we are letting it rip here on this Monday night. And I think it's just going to be Lionsgate's biggest film in forever. I mean, this is a studio that needs a massive hit. I mean, you think about Lionsgate, and they really had, as we know at the beginning, Hunger Games, and then obviously they're going to bring that back. And they had John Wick. They don't have virtually anything else, okay? They are barren. The cupboards are barren over in Santa Monica at Lionsgate. And now they have, I would say, their best film ever in the history of the studio, including awards films. This is the best Lionsgate film in the history of that studio, by far. It's not, runtime is not an issue here. It is not. In fact, I didn't even want to get up to go to the restroom. I always want to get up just for a second, real quick, run up. No, I didn't want to miss a second. I did at, I think, a good time. But even when I came back, sometimes you go to the restroom and there's a scene, and you go to the restroom, you come back, and the scene is still going on, and you're like, what the hell? That's not John Wick. I go and I come back, like, what? We've already advanced. That's due to that pacing that, as I said, was laid out to perfection, that you don't sit there going, good Lord, get it going. Never once did I think that in the entire movie. And again, it goes back to those set pieces. As soon as you're done with one that starts in Osaka, by the way, it's why I'm wearing Cerezo Osaka tonight from Japan, because it starts in Osaka. And then we go from there all over the globe. Actually, it doesn't start in Osaka. It starts somewhere else, I'm not going to say. But the first major set piece is there. And then you go, okay, how do you top that? Okay, and then we're going to go. There's minimum 5 major action sequences that would be good enough in one film. Yet you have all of them contained here in 2 hours and 45 minutes. That is not an issue whatsoever, which is crazy. And by the way, yes, hashtag not a review tonight. Not a review. Chris, I cannot wait for John Wick 4. Reviews seem to be too good to be true. They're not. This is a case where they are accurate. The reviews are 100% what this film is. It is a great film. A great film. I don't want any spoilers, of course, which we don't ever do. Keep hearing about Dragon's Breath Shotgun in the reviews. Oh, okay. Yes, Yes. But that's the crazy thing about John Wick 4. There is so much that happens here that is so testronic that you just go, "Oh my God," over, over, over. You forget some of the things that happen. The set pieces. I have to go back and rewatch this. I can't wait to see it. I got to wait 2.5 weeks. Lionsgate showed it to us early, which, by the way, is a sign that they know this is a good film. How do you not? If I am working at Lionsgate, if I'm the head of production there, and they show me John Wick 4, I'm like, oh God, why are we? Oh my Lord. Get this out now. Show this to as many people as possible. And that's exactly what they did by showing it here. We saw it 3 weeks early, almost a month early for John Wick 4. And we had to sit on our reactions until today. And the reviews aren't until next week. This is, again, I can't say it enough. This is a great film. A great film. Without spoilers, how's the end credit scenes? There is one end credit scene. It is at the very, very end, right? We're talking Lionsgate logo, and then we have our end credit scene. I'm not going to say what it is. That's not what we're going to do. Just know that you have to sit your ass in the seat for the entire runtime to get to that final scene, okay? So do not get up and leave, which I almost did. I was sitting next to Jeff Ewing and Alan Ng. This is one of these experiences that I will never forget. There's only so many trips to the movie theater that I can remember in my life that you just don't forget, right? You remember watching that movie and who you were with. This is what John Wick 4 is. That's how strong this film is. I'm never going to forget the experience of watching this film with those two. There was like 15 of us in the theater. But it's one of these films that you will never forget where you were when you watched it. It's going to be a classic film when it comes to action. Just called it one of the greatest action movies ever made. It's going to be a classic, okay? I remember watching The Raid. I remember watching The Raid 2. I remember watching John Wick 4. These are three of my favorite action films of all time. It is not woke. It's not John Woke. There's nothing about this film that is woke. And I know I don't like to discuss woke because I think it is just kind of a generic word, right? We throw it at everything these days. I know what you mean by it, but I can tell you right now, as someone who is sensitive to things that do not feel like they are authentic, do not feel like they are needed, that would be what I'd call quote unquote woke. There is nothing in this film that feels that way. Thank you very much for the poker. I mean, did I not nail the poker face? You guys thought I was going to hate the film because it's always about runtime. There's always a ding on runtime, which there should be because this is 2 hours and 45 minutes, but yet miraculously it's not. Speaks to the achievement of everyone involved here, and certainly director now who's done 4 of these, former stuntman, and now comes on with this. At this point, the stock is so high that I'm grabbing him to direct anything that is major. That's how great this is. You know, when you go back and you watch, for me, I like Bullet Train, okay? I think that David Leitch is a very good action director. You know, look at Deadpool, right? Deadpool 2. And then you look at this in what is Chad, right? I don't know how to say Chad's last name, but the former stuntman. This is really the kind of thing that gets you into so many other avenues in Hollywood. Before it's like, oh yeah, it's the director of John Wick. It's fine. It's really about Keanu Reeves. Now it's about direction. It's about film overall quality and one of the best action films in the history of cinema. I mean, it's that. Yes, it's absolutely better than Mad Max Fury Road. There's not a comparison. I am not super high on Fury Road. I think it's a very entertaining film, but it's a very simplistic film for me as well. This film has so many things going on, the world building here, which we started to see in 2 and certainly 3. In this case, we see it's a James Bond, John Wick film. And that gets back to Skarsgård being the best Bond villain ever in a John Wick movie. He is so good here. He is so diabolical here. You buy the fact that this is an evil dude because he does things that obviously you believe are nasty as hell. I don't want to tell you what they are because that's spoilers. Just know that he is a main component and part of why this film works as well as it works. Bill Skarsgård, who I would say now, when you look at Bill Skarsgård, by the way, I want to make sure this is clear, everyone. If Lionsgate's watching right now, not that. This is not a review. So we're just talking about Bill Skarsgård here. We're not talking about... When you look at Bill Skarsgård, he's much more interesting to me as an actor than Alexander, his older brother. When you look at Bill, you go back at Pennywise, and then you look at Barbarian, and you look now at John Wick. He has tremendous range. And he's got he's got the boyish face, right? But he's also a little bit odd looking. Good looking guy, but a little bit weird with the eyes, right? That's why he worked for Pennywise. He worked in Barbarian. You didn't know if he's the good guy, bad guy. And now here he sells the diabolical bad Bond guy, the Bond villain. And it is really great. If this were a Bond villain, we'd be talking one of the best Bond villains. I mean that. Better than Rami Malek. I mean, are you kidding me? Ooh, no contest. And I bet you right now, the Bond casting directors and everyone involved with 007 is like, oh man, I wish we would have gotten Skarsgård before John Wick did. That's how great this role is. And the good news is that people are going to see this film. It's not like this is going to be buried. It's not like, I mean, people are going to see this film on a level of James Bond, more than James Bond. This film is going to do whatever number we had it at. Let's say opening 50, 60, 70, 80. We are going higher and higher by the day because the word of mouth will be as strong as it gets for a film. Because I do not come in here to MMT and rave about films like this. I mean, I liked Ant-Man. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, you guys know that's true. But I liked it for what it was. This is a great film. Ant-Man was an entertaining enough film for me. This is cinema, action cinema at its highest level. What more can you say? I mean, how much better does it get than that? Let's bring up Eddie because Eddie has, what's it called right now? A super chat. And anytime you have a super chat, you come straight in. Let me find you, Eddie. Let me pull it up. I'm trying to get you up here. And I can't do it. If you have a super chat, do it. I'll find you and I'll pull you up. Sometimes StreamYards are weird like that. Those of you who are joining us here tonight, thank you for being here. I want to mention that if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. If you have not given me a like, please do so. Because this is, this is a fun night. Whenever we get to celebrate a film like this and get excited about a film like this and in a film that you're going to absolutely love in about 2.5 weeks, then let's do it. Let's talk about it. Only talking about John Wick 4, by the way. We're not talking about anything else here tonight. Eddie, thank you for the super chat. The way the frame holds the choreography is unreal. The camera works, feels mimetic. It lives in the frame rate. This is something new but timeless. Eddie, did you see it? I assume you saw it. I mean, this is great action cinema. As I said, I'm to assume you saw this because it's everything you say there is true. Cinematography here, it is very hard. You think about shooting a film like this, right? Where there is physical action scenes and the choreography involved, right? And I can't even imagine staging something like this. I mean, these set pieces that you see from Osaka to the nightclub to the stairs to the Arc de Triomphe, whatever the hell it is there in France. They're all over France there. When you get to all that, you're just like, what the hell? How did you even shoot this? And that is next level filmmaking when you're left in your seat saying to yourself, how was this done? I want to watch the making of John Wick 4 right now. What about the score and music for John Wick 4? Great question. The score's the score. It's good. It's not, a negative. I wouldn't say it's anything that I said, okay, this is, top score work, but it is, I would say, plus, score plus, right? Whenever we talk about an element, we're talking about flat, plus, or plus, plus, plus. That's ultimately what you want. Direction here is direction plus, plus, possibly plus, plus, plus. When you get up to 3 pluses, you're talking about top of the chain. And for me, those are films like Tar. Those are films like After Sun. For an action film, it's John Wick 4. This is the Oscar-winning action film. I mean, I have no problem at the end of the year, based on my grading scale, there is no issue with me whatsoever now, here this early. We're almost ready to do the Oscars. I have no problem with John Wick 4 being an awards film next fall. It's a 9.5 out of 10. That's the same grade I have on Top Gun Maverick. It was an awards film. We should not have any issues taking a film like John Wick 4 and making it an awards film. There is no rules And anything that we have to get these, it has to fit into this category where it is an awards film. No, great filmmaking, great films deserve to be honored with awards. And at the end of the year, I'm telling you now, there is virtually no way that John Wick 4 will not be in my top 10 films of the year. So look what we're doing already. We're already at one of the best films of the year to get to. It's really something else. I mean, that's why you should be excited here tonight. Scott Adkins. Hold on, let me see who is Scott Adkins. I got to remember who that is. Let me go back. Let me pull it up here on IMDb. Give me a second. Here it is. So there is my reaction tweet. Here, let's switch the tabs. Let's go and see where Scott Adkins is. He was in it, right? I remember seeing him in. I don't know what else I've seen this guy in, but what else? Tell me what he's been in. I don't think I've ever seen this dude. But he's the henchman, right? He's the henchman of Skarsgård in this. He has a goatee. He looks totally different than this picture right here. What else was he in? I don't even know if I know this dude. Very good. I mean, he's got a big physical presence to him. And Skarsgård's not a little guy either. So all the performances here, and also the Chinese actor, Donnie Yen, who was in Rogue One, is playing virtually the same character as Rogue One. It's like, wait a second, is this blind character Rogue One here in John Wick 4? He's very good. He's throughout the entire film. By the way, we're bordering on a review, so I got to let me just pull back just a little, because again, this is not a review. To recap, though, for those of you who had missed it joining the stream right now, this is my reaction to the film one more time from Twitter. One of the greatest action movies ever made. It tops all three of its predecessors in storytelling, in scope, and in stakes. The latter, big time. Countless astonishing set pieces. It really is hard to comprehend how all of this is in one film. I mean, I'm still here days later going, what an accomplishment. Bill Skarsgård, MVP, because of, if you don't have that there, if you don't have a villain that you buy as diabolical, then you are going to have a weaker film. So that adds to where we are here. Hellaciously thrilling franchise finish, if it is that. 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it's just a great film. All right, a few more comments, and we're going to make the stream nice and tight here tonight. It's not going to go on long because we only want to do John Wick 4. Tomorrow night, we are going to do Scream 6. Same kind of thing. Tight stream only about Scream 6 here on MMT. So let's keep going for a little bit longer on John Wick 4. Any questions you have, let's do it. Eddie again. So it's not a review. How do you feel about higher frame rates for action movies? I know that OG John Wick is a dreary film visually, and I would agree with that. I would watch these films at 30 hertz. Listen, Eddie, you are a super tech guy, and I love that, and I want to be able to speak your language. Here's what I know. Anything shot on film is going to be a plus for me. Just watched a film that looked amazing to me in Return to Seoul. This film looks very good. It looks very big. The scope is massive. I think the cinematography is very strong. I wouldn't say it's quite at a level where I'm like, is it award cinematography? But again, when you're shooting these scenes, I mean, there's only so many ways to do it. And the fact they're able to capture these scenes that are going on, a lot of them non-CGI, literally stunts, and to move the camera one take from shot to shot to shot. There's a crazy scene where this assassin, early in the film in Osaka. Oh, wait. Okay, anyhow, there's a scene that is the scene that will get you out of your seat early, okay? That's all I'm going to say. And this, it's just fantastic. And it's all there. It's all practical. There's no CG that I can see. I mean, of course, there's probably CG somewhere. But in general, this stuff is all there in front of you, which makes a difference. Satvik Lionsgate's got to be excited. That's the other reason they will let you kind of go a little bit further with these things right now. If I was on the stream right now destroying the film like I did Babylon, like I did The Whale, this would not go over as well. That said, again, guys, one more time for Lionsgate, for everyone, the PR agencies, everyone who's curious here, this is not a review. So it doesn't, whatever we're talking about, we're just talking about in generalities of John Wick 4. John, Tarantino and PTA show you why shooting on film is preferable to digital. Film will always win out. And I think that is a big part of success for me, just the look of the film. And when you draw it into John Wick 4, this film feels bigger than the other films. This film moves bigger than the other films. This film is far superior to the other John Wick films. I mean, it is 4 and then everything is, like we say in Moneyball, the Moneyball quote all the time. There's the A's, there's the Yankees, there's the Red Sox, there's 50 feet of crap, and then there is the A's. There's us, Brad Pitt says. There is John Wick 4, there's 50 feet of crap, and then you get to John Wick in whatever order you want to put them into, because I would actually have them all about the same. Maybe 3 ahead of 2, 1 because it's the first. This is by far, lights out. It is no question whatsoever the best in the franchise. There's not even any reason to discuss it beyond just that. It's the best in the franchise. Rob, the knife shop fight scene in part 3 is my favorite action scene in the series. Everything here, I remember that vaguely. You got to remember something. You see so many movies, you don't remember everything about every film. I remember John Wick 3 and I remember thinking, it's okay. The difference is I didn't walk out of that and want to talk about it like I am here tonight with John Wick 4. There are minimum 4, more than likely 5 or more, I lost count, of major, and I mean heavyweight action scenes here. And all of them are at a level that would be suitable enough for one film, and yet you have 5. You have 5 of them. So every time you think it's over, it's like, boom, here's another. Boom, here's another. And that's the beauty of this film. Lionsgate can super chat me right now. Listen, it wouldn't cost much. You super chat me, jump in, and you get to ask questions about it. Is Lionsgate actually here? Where is that? Where is Lionsgate? Are they here? There's no Lion. You guys, no, there is not Lionsgate here. And by the way, not only that, Wasim, it's not a review, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because that's the end of it. I don't know. I'm trying to look and see if there actually is. Whatever. We're almost done here. Wait, here it is. Wait a second. We'll see if this is if it's real, then we'll take the stream down. But the thing is, this isn't a review. John, it's not a review. Jeff, sorry. It's not a review. God darn it. What? Jeez. Here's the reality of it. At the end of the day, we can stop the stream. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's hilarious if it's true. And we are going to wrap the stream. Not because of Lionsgate. I'm not scared of you, Lionsgate. You should be happy that I'm excited about your film. This isn't a review, so I don't know what you're angry about. I just read my tweet, right, guys? Everybody give me a thumbs up. Did I get at... This is not... Listen to me. Tell me, right, this is not a review. And not only that, but give me a thumbs up, because if you guys agree with me, all we did was read my social reaction. That's all this was all the stream was. Anyone who tuned in knows it was only this. That's all it was the entire time. All right, guys. We are back tomorrow for Scream 6, which we'll have to do the same way, not a review. This wasn't a review. We didn't even talk about anything. We barely skimmed the surface of this film. Those of you who watch, thank you very much for being here tonight. A nice, tight little MMT. Tomorrow night, Scream 6. And then Saturday, Oscar selection show on Saturday. That's going to be fun. And that will be it for tonight. I'll see you back here tomorrow for Scream 6. Until then, get hyped for John Wick 4. Good night. Live from Los Angeles. Erick Weber signing off. Enjoy the rest of your night.